Hey guys, it's Pete with MixBetterNow.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Audified U73b Compressor version 2. Let's check it out. All right, I got a session pulled open here in Pro Tools. This is So Far from Matt McKelkin. I'm going to play it from the second verse, and then we'll check out this compressor. Here we go.
Your green eyes, soft smile. I could stay here so long. Wake up, hear your voice on the phone. It makes me happy. Well, I'm tired of being alone. The past and the future might collide, and I just wanna be with you.
Okay, so I have an instance of the U73b open on the screen right there as you were listening and watching the compressor. That is currently on the Rhodes. So if I go ahead and solo it from that verse. You can see and you can hear it doing its thing, okay? So this is a totally, essentially revamped version of the U73b compressor, okay? Just a couple little bits of information about this guy. It's a faithful and unique emulation of an old German broadcast compressor slash limiter. It's an all-tube Varimu compressor, okay? So it's not an optical compressor, it's a Varimu. Very cool. We have adjustable release time, which is this knob right here in the middle. Anywhere from the fastest release would be 300 milliseconds or 0.3 seconds, and you can go upwards from there. This is the exact same circuit that was modeled on this old German broadcast compressor. In this new version 2, Audified added an input and an output gain before and right after the compressor circuit to help with proper adjustment of the compression, okay? It contains a selectable sidechain, all right? This compressor sounds really good on, my personal favorites are acoustic guitar and vocals, but it is also extremely usable in mastering, on your drums, okay, electric guitars, keyboards, all kinds of different things. Okay, so some new features in version 2. Like I said, we have an external sidechain, auto volume output. It's way more CPU friendly. We have an adjustable dialogue color settings. What that means is you can tweak the color of all of the wording and the lettering up here in the menu. We have default calibration parameter value mechanism, which was added. Now you can actually change the language. Before it was only in German. Now you can read it in English. Now has oversampling, and the GUI is now Retina supported, so it's looking extra sharp. One last really cool feature is Audified now provides 2 licenses for the owner. So if you're working on a desktop and a laptop, that is going to be no problem to get your machines up and running. All right, so let's go ahead and take a listen to it on some tracks. First thing I'm going to do here is let's go ahead and take a peek at the vocals. I have some compressors already in the chain, but we'll go from the first verse here. I currently have an 1176 going into an LA2A, but what I'll do is I'll bypass the LA2A and I'll bring in the U73B so we can take a listen to how it sounds on some vocals. So here's verse 1 with the LA2A.
Driving so far, enough to get lost. Street lights, exit signs. I'm not worried what I'm leaving behind.
So on the vocal, let's see how much compression we're doing.
Driving so far, enough to get lost.
So about 3 dB, okay. I'm going to bypass the LA2A, and let's go ahead and turn the U73B on. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to disengage the HPF, which is the high-pass filter, okay. This is a feature where it'll actually roll off some of the bottom end for you automatically, probably more advantageous in mastering, but I want the bottom end in here. So I'm going to leave it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the release as fast as possible, just because I like the way that sounds on vocals. Here we have our compressor bypass and limit settings, so you can set it up as a limiter or a compressor, or you can bypass it. One more thing to point out is that we have a calibration setting here, so you can calibrate it to basically how much level you're going to push into the unit, okay? We also have an auto gain feature that you can toggle on right here. It's a little bit easier than going back and kind of regaining or level matching how much compression you're doing. So let's go ahead and dial this in.
Driving so far, enough to get lost. Street lights, exit signs.
I'm going to bypass just a couple of these delays.
Driving so far, enough to get lost.
So right there, we're doing about 3 dB of compression.
Driving so far, enough to get lost.
Now, with any other Varimu style compressor, the way that this works is the more input you drive into the signal, the more compression you're going to get. So very similar to an 1176 style compressor. And then you'll take the output knob, and that will be your level matching or makeup gain, whatever you prefer. On the meter here, you can also choose to have it display the input, the gain reduction, or the output levels. All right, back to tweaking the compressor here.
Driving so far, enough to get lost. Street lights, exit signs. I'm not worried what I'm leaving behind.
Okay, I'm gonna loop a section right here.
And the past and the future might collide, and I just wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. And the past and the future might collide, and I just wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. And the past and the future might collide, and I just wanna be with you. I wanna be with you.
So I hope you can hear what I'm hearing when I engage the compressor. Like I said, we're doing about 3 dB of compression. Not only does it do a nice job of controlling the transients and the volume of the vocal, but it adds a very cool analog vibe and character. This compressor definitely has a sound, one that I like, but I will say this. I like it on vocals, like I said. I like it on acoustic guitars. On some sources, it can actually sound a little bit bright to me, like on drums and on bass. You know, it's a taste thing. A lot of these analog compressors, or I should say compressors that model analog units, they will all have their own flavor. So they don't just compress, but they're also a bit of a color box, which is a really nice feature. Okay, so I'm going to bring the LA2A back in. I will bypass this. I have one set up on the lead vocal bus, so I will bring in both vocals here. And on the vocal bus, I was using an Acme XLA 3, which is sort of a similar style compressor where the harder you drive the input, the more compression you get, but this is a optical tube compressor. Just for fun, we will tweak the U73b on the bus, and we'll do that in the context of the mix here. So let's go from the second verse.
Your green eyes, soft smile, I could stay here.
So again, I'm just turning off the high pass filter. I'm gonna make the release as fast as possible, and then we will set up the amount of compression via the input knob.
Your green eyes, soft smile, I could stay here for so long. Wake up, hear your voice on the phone. It makes me happy, well I'm tired of being alone.
Again.
Your green eyes, soft smile, I could stay here for so long. Wake up, hear your voice on the phone.
Okay, just solo it and we'll bypass it in and out so you can hear it.
Your green eyes, soft smile, I could stay here for so long. Wake up, hear your voice on the phone. It makes me happy. Well, I'm tired of being alone.
So it really glues that vocal together in a very pleasant way, in a very analog way, giving it a lot of vibe and character in the process. All right, let's take a listen to it now on some acoustic guitars. This is the other area that I really, really like the way this compressor sounds. So we can solo this up. These are the verse, well, I guess they're the acoustics that are predominant throughout the whole track. So let's take a listen. So what I'm hearing that do is it glues the acoustics. Acoustics are kind of a tough thing to compress because they can really be overcooked sometimes and get lost in the mix. They can lose their size. But what I like about this is it's gentle. It adds a bit of weight, and it kind of makes the acoustics sound a bit bigger than they are. So really, really like that on the acoustics. The last place we're going to take a listen to it is on the drums. All right, so let's solo up the drum kit, and we can go from a pre-chorus. Actually, let's go from a chorus. So I have an instance of it on the drum bus. What I'm currently using is a Fairchild. Just kind of, this track to me just calls for a spongy compressor, okay? But a Fairchild's very similar to a U73b because it's got that Varimu thing going on. So let's see how much compression we're doing on the Fairchild. About a couple dB. Okay, it's adding some nice girth to the drums. Now let's dial in the U73b. Go ahead and hit it back to default. So again, I am going to disengage the high pass filter. I am going to set the release to the fastest time, and let's check it out. When I get really extreme with it, you can kind of really hear it working. It definitely pumps, but it's not, it doesn't crush the signal, okay? That's more compression than I would obviously use on the drums, but I just wanted to show you an extreme sounding scenario with the compressor. So it's very cool. As you can hear, it definitely gives it its own sound. It imparts its own flavor onto whatever you're compressing, and that's not a bad thing at all. That's something that I actually personally love, because then when you're picking different compressors to use throughout your mix, you know, you can strategically use the U73b for your advantage. All right, that's it for me. My name is Pete with MixBetterNow.com. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will catch you next time.